Hi folks, hope everybody's doing well today. So what's today going to be? Today's going to be a review on the Ecoflow Delta 2 Max, which is not a brand new power bank now. It's been around year, 2 years. I picked up a couple of them. They were doing a really good price on them. And I've got its little brother, the Delta 2. So I wanted to do a review of them, talk about them, give you my opinion of them, do a little bit of testing. And I've been running these two for a couple of weeks, basically. And yeah, let's go check them out, see what you get in the box, and look at some first impressions. Okay, doke. So, what's in the box, Brian? So what you get in the box is obviously the Delta 2 unit itself. It's a chunky beast. No getting away from it. It's a fairly weighty beast as well. It's about 22 kilograms, I think. But I'll fact check it and stick it in the comments anyway. Then you get this little box, which has got all your goodies in it. I could arrange it neatly, but I'm not that kind of person. Crap. So, it's got an XT60i connection on that. And that's for your car, for your 12 volt socket. If you want to use that in the car to charge it, it will take a ridiculously long period of time. So for me, personally, bin, never use that. The DC connectors, bin, you'll never need that either. Cable, what I do like, they give you a decent amount of flex Ecoflow. I like Anchor, but their plug adapters with a kettle lead on it, I mean, it's tiny, it's like a foot long. Jesus, is it that expensive for cable? I don't think so. So yeah, plenty flex. Quick start guide, don't need that. Instructions, never read them. So, first impressions of the unit. Well, it's hardly first impressions, I've seen a million of them. Turn it on. Nice bright clear display. You've got 4 USB-A's, 2 USB-C's. Different outputs on them, obviously. Runtime, hours left. State of charge. Input, obviously nothing, because it's full and I'm not charging it. Output, nothing, because I'm not discharging it to anything. The ergonomics of the unit, I mean, it's easy enough to carry. The handles are fine. When you compare it in looks and aesthetics to the Delta 3, it does look a bit dated when you compare it to that, but not enough that it would put me off. It's a good unit. So, yeah. Let's have a look at the side. These are obviously vents for your fans. It's much quieter than its predecessor, the Ecoflow Max, Delta Max. It was particularly noisy with the fans on. This one's not too bad at all. Looking at the back, 2 XT60 inputs. Maximum input 60 volts. Now, it says it'll handle 1,000 watts input for your solar array. I would suggest you get about 2,000 out of it, and I know you will because I've done it. You do. For a start on this one, I'm currently putting an 852 on that just now, split across 3 panels. 2 430 watt panels in parallel, and a single 500 watt panel plugged in. And they're flat in terms of orientation, so it's not ideal orientation, but it's still giving you decent input. And at the moment, mine's is powering the aircon for the workshop, which you can see there. So yeah, good stuff. Anyway, back to the video, Brian. So mains incomer 230, obviously your 2 solar inputs, 4 230 outlets, your auxiliary output for the DC here. These 2 I've never used, ever. The only time I've ever used the 12 volt output is for like inflating paddle boards and stuff with the Delta 2, and that's really its limit. I mean, the current output on it is woeful. It's one of the things that lets it down. It's absolute mint. It's rubbish. It's got the limitations of this ability to carry current, which is not great at all. Some of your power banks are using Anderson connections with up to 30 amps on them, which is much better, especially if you've got a camper van or something. This has been a bugbear of mine with Ecoflow. And I do like Ecoflow products because I buy a lot of them. Why? Why would you put them on the back? It is an absolute pain. A pain to move it round about, stick these in, reach round, press the button. I mean, that's really poor. They've corrected that mistake. I think it's a mistake on the Delta 3, right? So far better to have them at the front. Lesson learned, guys. Because if you don't have it in the front, you're doing this crap and shuffling it round. Here's your 2 expansion battery ports. If you want to add extra batteries, they plug in here, like so. Alright, and that is basically it. That is what you get. It's a 2 kilowatt hour power bank. It's got a substantial battery, which comes with a reasonable amount of weight. Not prohibitively so. I mean, it's still within the realms of carrying about and putting in and out your camper van, carrying from your car boot to where your tent is, that sort of things. When you start getting into the realms of the Ecoflow Delta Pro Max, Pro, the big one on the trolley, or the big anchor one, when you have to use a trolley to get it from A to B, that's when you've got, it's not really a portable power bank then, is it? This is still a portable power bank, I think. So I'm going to plug in a kettle and we'll run it and see what it does. I don't anticipate any problems, but let's do it. Okay, folks, so as you can see, turn that off. I've switched on the inverter on the back, so the 230 volt sockets are live. The kettle is on. We are drawing nearly 2 kilowatts of output. Kettle's on. And it's anticipating at that current load, we'll get less than an hour out of the power bank. Now, I would think most of us aren't going to be boiling a kettle for an hour, but you will sleep sound in your bed tonight knowing that should you wish to boil a kettle for an hour, this will do it, which is always a good thing. So while we're literally waiting on a kettle boiling, we'll talk a little bit about the specs. So as I said, it's a 2 kilowatt hour power bank. It weighs approximately 23 kilograms, so 23 kilograms. It's Bluetooth via the app. You can also use it on Wi-Fi. I'll put some screenshots on it. I can monitor it with my phone if I'm at work and look at the state of charge, look at its solar input and all the rest of it, which is pretty handy. It's pure sine wave inverter. Surge capacity 4,800 watts. Nominal loading 2,400 watts. So, yeah, pretty good. USB-A's 2.5 amps per channel on the fast charging. Yeah, 1.5 amps on the other ones. 4 230 volt sockets. It's an LFP battery, 3,000 cycles to 80% capacity. Now, let's talk about that. Whilst we're waiting on the kettle boiling, right? Just when it reaches 3,000 cycles, it does not mean that the power bank will suddenly stop working. What they're saying is that at about 3,000 cycles, you'll have about 80% capacity left within the batteries. Okay? It means you'll still have about 80% capacity. So let's say it's a 1 kilowatt power bank for talking sake, you'll still have about 800 watt hours approximately usable power in the beast after 3,000 cycles, which is about 10 years use, average use. So it's quite a lot. It's considerable. So don't think, oh my goodness, at 30,000 cycles, it's going to cut out, it's going to stop working. No, that's not what they're saying. So I just thought it was worth explaining that. All right, back to the power bank. So still drawing, no dramas, no problems. It's all good. I have used chainsaws. I have used grinders, 230-volt drills. I've had it charging torches, radios, everything. You name it, it's been on it. It's never missed a beat. Its brother here has been running the air conditioning in the shed quite happily, with no problems at all. Now, as you can see, when the solar starts to drop, if it's running full chat, it's predicting 2 hours runtime on that unit. That varies because once it gets down to temp, you're basically just running the fan, so your runtime extends. Basically, running the air conditioning unit, as we saw over there, this will run it for about 6 to 8 hours with the solar plugged in, which is pretty good for a 2 kilowatt hour power bank with solar, obviously. So the fan is running, the cooling fan is running. I'll try and get closer with the mic, see if you can hear it, but it's very quiet. I can't hear it at all. So function test done. Kettle, no dramas at all. Resistive loads such as a kettle, heater, they're always going to be your heaviest draw items, which you're probably not going to use that a lot of. Better using gas or something, but it will do it with no problems. So yeah, that's the testing done. Let's talk about the unit. Conclusions, thoughts, opinions. All right, so let's talk about, is it worth the money? Well, how much did it cost? It cost me £999 UK pounds each, which for a 2 kilowatt quality power bank is pretty good, in my opinion. The price has come down a lot since the advent of the delta 3s have came out. So the price has dropped substantially on the older models behind me, which is good for us. Because just because there's a newer model doesn't mean to say these are for the scrap heap. What it does mean is me and you guys can pick up a bargain, and I'm quite happy with paying the best part of £2,000 for these and giving me an extra 4 kilowatts of spare power should I need to use it, if it's in the camper van, grid down situation, myriad uses, even lend it to a loved one whose power's went out. So for £2,000, you're getting a beefy, proven piece of tech, and I'm good with that. I run several of the Delta 2s, its little brother, the 1 kilowatt hour power banks, and these are a step up in terms of capacity. So yeah, I think it's a great unit. Is it still relevant now, given that it's not out of date, but it's been superseded by newer tech? And when I say newer tech, the battery chemistry and cycles on this is improved. So the Delta 3 is looking about 4,000 cycles versus 3,000 on these ones. But the difference in price, right? The newer models have started out where they were. So there's a marked difference in price. I would be saving about six or £700 buying the older model. And apart from aesthetics and much better plug positioning, they put the plugs on the front. As you've probably gathered for the video, that is a real bugbear of mine. That's an improvement on the Delta 3. But this is a good unit still. It's still current. It's still a good buy at the right price. And for £1,000 roughly, that's a good price for proven tech, reliable tech, in my opinion. I run about 8 different Ecoflow products. And before I get the usual torrent of I'm paid to say this, I've never ever been given a power bank of any kind. Right? Caveat, this one's not mine, so I borrowed it off a friend to review it. But every power bank I've got and I've reviewed, I've paid the full price for. So there was no free lunches, no rides, no sponsorship. That's good, because it means if it's a pile of crap, you'll probably see a video with me either smacking it with a hammer if it's really bad, and it'll be in kit form, or I'll point out bits that I don't like, and I'll tell you what I do like. So I like them. I highly rate them. If you can pick them up for a good price like these, I can't recommend it enough. The Baby Brother Delta 2 1 kilowatt hour power banks are retailing about $499 in the UK at the moment, which is a saving of about £300 from its price last year. So depending on what your budget is, either it's little brother or get the 2 kilowatt hour one. And I think it's a good buy. Marks out of 5, I'm going to give it a 4.5, purely because the socket placement is absolutely atrocious. It's a big old lump to be reaching round and try and click on the button to switch on the inverter. Never mind fumbling about trying to put a plug in and out. So you're either faced with the prospect of spinning it around or reaching around and trying to put the plug in. That's not a great design. Doesn't detract from the functionality, but it's definitely a dropped ball, which they've corrected on the newer model. And it's the only reason it doesn't get 5 out of 5, because it's an excellent piece of kit. Let me know what you think of them. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know if you've had any problems. Let me know how you've used the Ecoflow kit, the delta2 Maxes, what your experiences were, and we can all pick one another's brains and learn from there. If you don't mind, I would genuinely appreciate if you like, subscribe, comment. This is a small channel. It's all funded by me, and every subscriber counts and is appreciated. So thanks very much. See you soon, guys.
I'm prepared for anything, come rain or shine.